Okay, today we're going to be looking at the French defense. The French defense will start when white plays e4 and black replies with e6. This signals the French defense, which is a solid opening, and it's going to lead to some very rich positions. Black has plans of controlling the center, creating counterattacks, and the possibility of a pawn structure that supports future advances. White will be focusing on maintaining central space, as well as creating attacking opportunities. The main variations that we're going to be looking at in this video are the advanced variation, the exchange variation, and the Tarrasch variation. The advanced variation starts off with e4, e6, d4, d5, and then white follows up with e5, which is the advanced variation. The ideas for white in this position are creating a space advantage and also restricting black's pieces by pushing the pawn to e5. Black's ideas are to challenge white's center. This could be done by playing moves such as c5. Black will also be looking for piece activity, getting its pieces to active squares, and then often aiming to find a way to exchange off the d4 and e5 pawns. There's going to be a decent amount of queenside play for black if they can get their pieces out. The exchange variation, e4, e6, d4, d5, e takes d5, e takes d5. We're now looking at the exchange variation. This is going to lead to a symmetrical pawn structure, which white hopes to exploit with fast development and active piece play. White may opt for a kingside attack with fast development and an open e-file. Black is also going to be happy with a symmetrical structure, which is going to lead to equal chances with a solid position. Black is also going to be focusing on rapid piece development here, and will also be looking at controlling the e-file. Black will also be looking at opportunities to counterattack if white chooses to overextend their pieces. Next we have the Tarrasch variation, which is e4, e6, d4, d5, knight d2. It could also be knight f3. However, we'll look at knight d2. White is looking at having a flexible structure without locking the center too quickly. Black's plan, on the other hand, would be looking at ideas like striking at the center with c5, followed by knight to c6. Now we're going to look at a trap that you'll need to know about, especially if you're playing as black, so that you can avoid it. But if you're playing as white, you can also keep an eye on the opportunities that may present themselves in games. e4, e6, d4, d5. White plays the advanced variation of e5. Black follows with c5, challenging the center. White defends the pawn with c3. Knight c6, knight f3, queen to b6. You can see we've got 3 pieces attacking the pawn in here. White has 3 pieces defending the pawn. Bishop to d3. This actually makes it now so we only have 2 pieces defending the pawn. However, white is setting up a trap for black. Black continues, c takes d, c takes d, knight takes d, knight takes d, and queen takes d. And if you look here, it looks as though we've got 2 pawns and a knight for a knight and a pawn. However, black has the following discovered check of bishop to b5 check, and when the king moves or blocks, the bishop can continue by taking with check again. The king will take, and then the queen will take the queen, and white will have a very easy game. So we just need to be mindful of that trap when we're playing the French defense. It doesn't matter if you're white or black. Just make sure you have an understanding of that trap and how that can happen. Okay, now I hope you understand what the French defense is and you have a little bit of knowledge of each of the variations. The French defense is a solid opening for both sides, and it will create a lot of interesting positions. If you're enjoying this content and you want to get better, feel free to hit subscribe, and in the next video we'll be going over a opening for white. Thank you very much for tuning in, and have a good day.